Hello everyone. After a long time, I finally decided to return to my Python projects. Since I was a bit rusty, I decided to start with a simple project, recreating the game made by Brackeys in Godot, as he served as an inspiration for me and many others who ventured into video game creation. It is a 2D platformer game, like Super Mario, where the character jumps on platforms, collects coins, and avoids enemies. I used the same assets from the original project, trying to make the game as similar as possible. Since Pygame isn't a complete game engine like Godot, many things need to be done more manually, directly in the code, or by using other libraries and external tools. The first challenge was the game map itself. In previous games, I created different ways to load maps from files, usually from images. This case was a bit more elaborate, with different layers of objects that interact differently with the player. For practical reasons, I decided to use the tool spritefusion.com, but I think it would be interesting to create a simple map editor in Pygame in the future. With this tool, you can load a tile set with the game's graphics and easily create maps with different layers. I ended up using several. One layer for the background, another for the plants, another for the solid blocks, and even layers for the position of objects like enemies, platforms, and coins. After that, I exported the map in the JSON format. To use it in Pygame, I had to create a function to interpret the map data. Each layer has attributes like name, list of coordinates, types of blocks, and whether the layer is solid or not. From the solid layers, I created a list with the coordinates of solid and non-solid blocks to facilitate collision checking later. Next, I created objects like enemies, platforms, coins from the respective layers, which were then removed from the map data as they are no longer needed. For the map we are using tiles, which are a bunch of small square images drawn side by side. The only problem is that the map is bigger than our current screen, so part of it stays always hidden. To solve this, we could reduce the scaling and use a higher resolution, but things end up looking tiny, and for some maps your monitor may not have enough resolution to display it entirely. The standard solution for this is to use a camera that follows the player around. This is done by subtracting the camera coordinates from everything that is drawn. Other elements of the map use sprites, which are simple images that will be moved around on the map and do not comply with the grid structure of the map. To make animated sprites, we use sprite sheets where we switch between different frames to create the illusion of movement. I had a bit of work with the sprites, manually defining the animated frames for each object. For the player, I created a class with attributes and a function that handles movement and checks for collisions with the blocks. The controls were relatively easy, as the player only moves left and right and jumps. I also created classes for the other objects with attributes and functions for the interactions with the map and with the player. For the text, I imported the fonts and rendered each text, manually defining their positions on the map. The sounds are loaded and played when a relevant event happens. Overall, the experience was interesting, especially in understanding the advantage or rather the convenience of using a game engine like Godot. Godot excels in managing objects and assets within the game, allowing you to focus more on the game creation itself. In Pygame, the experience is a bit different. There are many tools that help, but in general the process is more involved, requiring many things to be created manually. This means you spend more time developing support functions to make the game happen. I particularly enjoyed this approach, as I love thinking of different ways to solve a problem, almost like solving a puzzle. Additionally, I have more flexibility. If I want to do things in a completely different way, I can, including using functions from various Python libraries, which has one of the largest ecosystems in the programming world. Another interesting point is that I have complete understanding of my game. If something isn't working well, or I want to improve something, I know exactly where to go to make the necessary adjustments. In the end, what matters is game creation. With a game engine, the experience is certainly more accessible, especially for the people who just want to start creating without worrying too much about programming. Godot seems perfect for this, and it has the advantage of being open source, free to use, and using an easy language inspired by Python, GG script. This project has already given me some ideas for things that I want to do in Python and Pygame. I'm not sure at what pace I will be able to bring these new projects to the channel, but the idea is to gradually get back into the rhythm. If you want to join me on this journey, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment saying what you thought and what else you hope to see here. Thanks for watching, and until the next time.